Hello everyone and welcome to another video. It is Sunday, October 19th, 2025, so it is time to do another NHL standings review and reaction. So this is something that I do once a week. So this week we had a lot of big movers. There's a lot of movement because it's still early, right? So if you have a good week, you're probably going to move way up, and if you have a bad week, then you're probably going to move way down. Also, if you're wondering what jersey this is the 2014 Detroit Red Wings Winter Classic. Got the patch on the shoulder here, and there is a very specific reason why I'm wearing this jersey. You probably know why, but yes, let's go ahead and dive into the standings now, shall we? Okay, so starting things off with the Western Conference. The only difference with this video compared to the last one I did is you'll see the numbers, the big bold numbers, that represents the change in their position in the standings. So as you can see, as I mentioned, there has been a lot of movement this week, but as we get deeper into the season, there's not going to be as much movement. But yeah, there have been some big movers this week for sure. So we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up just like last time. So at the bottom of the standings, the Calgary Flames, they are down one spot from last week. So they have played 6 games. They have a record of 1-5, just 2 points so far. They've only scored 11 goals and they've allowed 25 for a -14 goal differential. They are 0-2 at home, 1-3 on the road, and they have lost 5 in a row. So they won their first game of the season and they have lost 5 in a row. I actually watched a bit of the Flames and Golden Knights game last night. That was rough. That was very rough. By the way, I do want to mention this video will not include any results from today's games. There are 4 games on the schedule today, so these standings do not include results from today. So I do want to make sure I mention that. So moving on up here in 9th place is the San Jose Sharks. They are the only team in the league without a win so far. So they have played 5 games. They're 0-3-2. They have scored 13 goals and allowed 25. So similar to Calgary, they are 0-2-2 at home. They've only played 1 road game so far, and they are 0-1. And they have lost 3 in a row. They are down 2 spots from last week. So kind of expected to see San Jose down at the bottom, but surely things have to change for them soon, right? Hopefully. Next up is the Los Angeles Kings in the 8th spot. They are 1-3-2. They have played 6 games. So they have scored 17 goals, allowed 24, a -7 goal differential. And some interesting numbers here. They are 0-2-1 at home, 1-1-1 on the road, and their current streak is 1 overtime loss. And they are actually in the same spot as they were last week. They stay in 8th. So I feel like they need to get it going. Just 1 win in 6 games. That's definitely not good enough for LA in my opinion. Moving up here in 7th place, we have the Anaheim Ducks. So they have played 4 games. They are 2-2. They have scored 13 goals, only allowed 16. Well, I gotta say only, but that's 4 goals a game. So -3 differential, 1-1 at home and 1-1 on the road. And their current streak is a loss of 1. So a very mediocre start for the Ducks. I would expect them to finish maybe around there by the end of the season. So not too surprising to see where they are. Next up in the 6th spot is the Minnesota Wild. They are down 5 spots from last week. Also, don't know if I mentioned it, but Anaheim is down 1 spot from last week. And yeah, Minnesota is down 5 spots from last week. So they have played 6 games. They are 2-3-1. They have scored 17 goals, allowed 22 for a -5 differential. They are 1-1 at home, 1-2-1 on the road, and their current streak is 1 overtime loss. So I think they're going to finish a little bit higher than where they are right now. I could see them competing for a playoff spot. So yeah, I think they're going to finish a little bit higher than where they are. I would think so, right? But again, still early. Next up, one of the biggest surprises so far, again, keeping in mind it is still early, the Edmonton Oilers are in the 5th spot right now. They have played 5 games. They are 2-2-1. They've only scored 13 and they've allowed 14, a -1 goal differential, 1-0-1 at home and 1-2 on the road. And their current streak is a loss of 2. So I think McDavid still has yet to score his first goal, right? I mean, again, 5 games, it's not a lot, but it's definitely a very mediocre start for the Oilers. I would expect them to shoot up the standings. And yeah, they are down 5 spots from last week, so definitely not a great start for the Oilers. Next up in the 4th spot is the Nashville Predators. They have played 6 games. They are 2-2-2. They have scored 15 goals. They've allowed 19 for a -4 differential. They are 1-0-1 at home and 1-2-1 on the road. And currently they are on a 1-game losing streak. So again, another mediocre start. There's a lot of mediocre records currently, and Nashville is down 4 spots from last week, by the way. So yeah, I think Nashville, I could see them finishing right around there where they are right now. So yeah, very mediocre start. Again, there's a lot of mediocre records right now. Now, next up, we have the Chicago Blackhawks in the 3 spot. They are up 7 spots from last week. 7. So they have played 6 games, and like Nashville, they are 2-2-2. So they have scored 20 goals. They've allowed 17 for a +3 differential. And they have the same record at home and on the road. 1-1-1 at home and also 1-1-1 on the road. So their current streak is 1 overtime loss, and yeah, a good week for Chicago. They are up 7 spots. They were at the bottom last week, so now they're just outside a wild card spot. I don't think they're going to finish there by the end of the season, but hey, you never know. Maybe we'll get surprised, right? All right, moving into the wild card, the second wild card position is currently the Dallas Stars. They are down 3 spots from last week, so they have a record of 3-2. They played 5 games. They have scored 19. They've allowed 18 for a +1 differential. 1-1 at home, 2-1 on the road, and they have lost 2 in a row. So I do expect Dallas to finish higher than this. Yeah, definitely a bit of a rough start for Dallas there. So I guess that means, yeah, so they had a bad week, obviously, down 3 spots. So yeah, that is Dallas. Then next up, in the first wildcard spot is the Utah Mammoth. So like Dallas, they are also 3-2. They have scored, they got some interesting numbers here. So they have scored 14 goals, which is not great, but they've only given up 11. So very good defensively. +3 differential. They're 2-0 at home and 1-2 on the road. They are on a 2-game winning streak. So I would love to see Utah make the playoffs. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be really fun if they made it. So we'll see where they finish. But very good week for Utah. They are up 4 spots from last week. All right, so moving into the Pacific Division, we have the Vancouver Canucks in third. They also have a record of 3-2. They have scored 16. They've only given up 14, so pretty good defensively for a +2 differential. 1-1 at home, 2-1 on the road, and they have won 2 in a row. So Vancouver is up 2 spots from last week, so pretty good week for the Canucks. Next up is the Seattle Kraken. They are second in the Pacific. They are 3-0-2, so they have not lost in regulation. And I think Seattle has gone to overtime 3 games in a row, or 4 games. Is it 3 or 4? Just crazy. That's insane. But hey, that's how you get points. And like Vancouver, they have scored 16 goals. They've given up 14, +2 differential. They are 2-0 at home and 1-0-2 on the road. And their current streak is 1 win. So Seattle's looking good. I mean, no regulation losses. Nothing to complain about there. And Seattle is down 1 spot from last week because somebody is currently on a tear right now. That would be the next team here I'm about to talk about. First place in the Pacific Division is currently the Vegas Golden Knights. I would not be surprised even the slightest if they end up winning the division. So they are 4-0-2. They also have not lost in regulation. They have scored 26 goals. They've given up 19, a +7 differential, and same record at home and on the road, both 2-0-1, and they have won 3 in a row. So I'm just going to say this right now, but my Stanley Cup pick is the Golden Knights. I'm just going to say that. That's the first time I've mentioned this in a video, but yeah, they are my Stanley Cup pick, so we'll see what happens. Alright, moving on to the Central Division here. We have the St. Louis Blues. Oh, I didn't mention Vegas is up 1 spot as well from last week. St. Louis Blues currently 3rd in the Central. They are 3-2. They actually have a minus goal differential. They have scored 15 and allowed 18, so -3 there. 1-2 at home and 2-0 on the road, so interesting. And their current streak is 1 win. So not a bad start for St. Louis. They are up 4 spots from last week, so they had a good week, for sure. Next up is the Winnipeg Jets, 2nd in the Central. They are 4-1. They have scored 21, and they've only given up 12, so very good defensively and offensively. So +9 goal differential, 2-1 at home and 2-0 on the road, and they have won 4 in a row. So they lost their first game, and they've won every game since. So very good week for Winnipeg. And currently, also Winnipeg is up 4 spots as well. And currently, in the same spot as last week is the Colorado Avalanche. They're leading the Central Division as they were last week as well. So they are 5-0-1, no regulation losses. They have scored 21. They've only allowed 10. So that's crazy. That's less than 2 goals a game. Plus 11 goal differential. They are 2-0-1 at home, 3-0 on the road, and they have won 3 in a row. So, yeah, a lot of movement. So I'm going to go through. So like last week, I want to pick out kind of a surprise team in a good way and a bad way. So looking at the standings here, the bad surprise, probably going to go with the Oilers. I think I'm going to go with the Oilers. There's no way this should be that low. Again, it's still early, so not going to read into this too much, but I think it's got to be the Oilers, man. Like, again, McDavid hasn't scored yet. They're just a very mediocre record right now. The offense is not where you think it should be. So I think I'm going to go with the Oilers for the bad surprise. And the good surprise, I'm going to go with probably Seattle. I think I'm going to go with Seattle. So no regulation losses. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs. Yeah, no regulation losses in 5 games. They're 2nd in the division. So I'm going to go with Seattle for the good surprise. So there are your West standings. And now let's move on to the East. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the Eastern Conference standings. And like the West, there has been a lot of movement, as you can see. And there are a couple teams that have some really interesting numbers, which I will get into more once I get to them. There are some very interesting numbers in the East for sure. So starting at the bottom, the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're down 2 spots, and boy, what a rough start for Tampa. They are 1-3-2. Wow, that's shocking. 16 goals for, 21 against, -5 differential. They are 0-2 at home and 1-2 on the road. They have currently lost 1 for their streak. So that's a rough start for Tampa. 1 win in your first 6 games. That's they got to turn around for that team. They got to turn around soon, I would hope. Next up is the my team, of course, the Ottawa Senators. They are 9th in the division, in the wild card, I should say. They are down 3 spots from last week. They are 2-4. Look at these numbers. They have scored 20. They've allowed 30 goals against. -10 differential. Their games have been kind of psychotic. And 30 goals against is the most, of course, because why wouldn't it be the Sens? But their games have been just crazy. So they are 1-2 at home and 1-2 on the road, and their current streak is a loss of 1. And I won't talk too much about them. I talk about them enough in my game reviews, but boys, oh boys, it's been a rough start Of course, they got Kachuk out now for like another month and a half as well, so that's not good, but yeah, hopefully they turn it around soon. But yeah, there's the Sens. Next up is I didn't mention this as well. Ottawa is down 3 spots from last week, so kind of makes sense. Next up is the New York Islanders. They are 8th in the wild card. They have a record of 2-3. They actually just beat the Senators yesterday. So the Islanders are up 1 spot from last week. They have scored 16. They've allowed 19 for a -3 differential. They are 1-2 at home and 1-1 on the road, and they have won 2 in a row. So they lost their first 3, and now they've won 2 in a row. So we'll see if they can get a little bit of a run going here. So next up is the Buffalo Sabres. They are 2-3 as well, and they're up 3 spots. So they were at the bottom last week, and now they're up 3 spots. It was looking really, really bad for them for the first couple games. So, because like Buffalo, they scored 1 goal in their first 2 games combined. Then they score 8 against Ottawa, and since then, well, they've looked pretty good. I mean, I know they've only played 1 game since then, but um, yeah, Buffalo has scored 13 goals, and 8 of them coming against Ottawa, which is just insane to think about. And 14 goals against with a -1 differential. They are 2-2 at home and 0-1 on the road, and they've won their last 2. So you never know. You never know. I really would like to see Buffalo make the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to, but it's nice to see them not at the bottom for once. So yes, there is Buffalo. Next up, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets. They are down 4 spots from last week, so they are also 2-3. They have scored 14. They've allowed 15 for a -1 goal differential. 1-2 at home and 1-1 on the road, and they have won 1 as their current streak. So pretty mediocre start again. There's a lot of mediocre records right now in the league, and I could see Columbus finishing right around where they are right now. I would love to see them make the playoffs as well, but I don't know. Only so many teams can make it, right? So I don't know if Columbus is going to do it, but we'll see. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Flyers. They are up 2 spots from last week, so they are 2-2-1. They have scored 13 and allowed 14, so pretty good defensively. If they can find some offense, who knows? So they are 2-1 at home and 0-1-1 on the road, and their current streak is a win of 1. So pretty, again, mediocre start for Philadelphia. This next team is one of the interesting teams I want to talk about here. So we have the Florida Panthers. They are down 6 spots from last week. So they are 3-4. They have scored 15. They've allowed 20 for a -5 differential. But listen to this. So they are 3-0 at home. They are 0-4 on the road. And they've lost 4 in a row. So they won their first 3 games all at home. And since then, they've lost 4 in a row all on the road. So boy, I don't know. Again, down 6 spots. Surely they gotta make the playoffs, right? Like, I don't know, man. They got a lot of big injuries. I know Bennett has been off to a slow start. I don't know. Florida, I know it's still early, but if they lose a couple more, they could be in trouble. And I can't believe I'm saying that about Florida. Again, down 6 spots. We'll see what happens, but man, that's a little bit surprising to see them in that spot, to be honest. So next up we have the Boston Bruins. They are 3-3. They are down 4 spots from last week. And again, that's kind of the same thing as Florida. So 19 goals for, 19 against for an even goal differential. They are 2-1 at home, 1-2 on the road, and kind of like Florida. So Boston won their first 3 games, and now they've lost 3 in a row. So Boston last week, they were 2nd in the Atlantic, and now they're just outside a wild card spot. Again, still early. If like I said, if you have a good week, you're gonna shoot way up the standings, and vice versa. If you have a bad week, you're gonna go way down in the standings. So not gonna look into it too much yet, but Boston, I could see them finishing around there potentially by the end of the season. So moving up into the wild card spot, now we have the New York Rangers. They are 3-3-1. They are down one spot from last week. So the Rangers, these are some interesting numbers. So they have scored 15 goals, which is not great. That's like just over 2 a game, but they've only allowed 12. So if this team can find some offense, they could be dangerous because you got Shesterkin. Again, 12 goals against in 7 games. That's pretty good. So again, some interesting numbers here. They're 0-3 at home, 3-0-1 on the road, and their current streak is 1 win. So I think the Rangers, I really do think they're going to make the playoffs. I do. They're down one spot from last week. Don't know if I mentioned that. But yeah, if that team can find some offense, they could be very dangerous for sure. They've already got the defense figured out. So yeah, there is that. Moving into the number 1 wildcard spot, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they are down one spot as well from last week. They are 4-2. They have scored 18. They've allowed 15 for a +3 goal differential. They are 1-1 at home and 3-1 on the road, and they have won 2 in a row. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to make the playoffs, but hey, it's a good start. I mean, maybe they might be motivated because, Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, they're all getting up there in age, and maybe they're motivated and they want to play better for them because, I know there have been rumors about them not staying in Pittsburgh, which I think they're going to. I do think they're going to find a way to keep them. But yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh's looking pretty good. 4-2. That's a good start for Pittsburgh. So, also interesting how they've won 2 in a row, but they're still down one spot. That's because somebody had a big week. A couple of teams had a big week. So, now let's move into the Metro Division. So, third place is the Washington Capitals. They are down one spot from last week. And again, that's really weird because Washington is 4-1. Now, listen to this. They have scored 14 goals. They have allowed 8. 8 goals against in 5 games. That is phenomenal. So a +6 goal differential, 2-1 at home and 2-0 on the road. They've won 4 in a row, but they're down one spot from last week. So that's crazy. But again, a couple other teams had some big weeks as well. So the Metro Division looks crazy when you look at the streaks. But moving into the next team here, the New Jersey Devils, they are up 5 spots from last week, so there's one of our big movers. The Devils are also 4-1. They've scored 19. They've allowed 15, +4 differential. They are 2-0 at home and 2-1 on the road. And like Washington, they are on a 4-game winning streak. So the Metro is looking very dominant right now this past week. And moving into the top spot, the only team in the league who has won all of their games, the Carolina Hurricanes. They are 5-0. They have scored 23. They've allowed 11, a +12 differential, 2-0 at home and 3-0 on the road. And they have won 5 in a row. They are the only team that has not lost a game. So I would not be surprised if Carolina ends up winning the division. That's a heck of a start. And they are in the same spot as last week too. They also were in first in the Metro last week as well. So incredible start for the Hurricanes. And now we move into the Atlantic Division. So third place is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are up 3 spots from last week. So they are 3-2-1. They have scored 22. They've allowed 20. So some high scoring games there for sure. They are a +2 goal differential, 3-1-1 on home ice and 0-1 on the road. Just one road game so far. And their current streak is 1 overtime loss. That was the game against Seattle last night, which I did watch. So, yeah, I could see Toronto finishing right about where they are right now. And then we move into the Montreal Canadiens. They're up 1 spot from last week. So they are 4-2. They've scored 21. They've allowed 18 for a +3 differential. 2-1 at home and 2-1 on the road. Their current streak is 1 loss. And it's a good start. I mean, I don't think they're gonna finish there, but that's a really good start for Montreal, man. That's impressive. So now we move into the final team, and this was actually not intentional, but this is why I am wearing the Detroit jersey. So Detroit, they are up 7 spots from last week, one of our biggest movers. So they are 4-1. They've scored 16. They've only given up 12 for a +4 differential. 3-1 at home and 1-0 on the road, and they have won 4 in a row. So they lost their first game, and since then they've beaten everybody. So um, it would be really nice to see Detroit make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the division, but hey, I mean, you know what? Who knows? Who knows? Like, Detroit's at the top, Tampa's at the bottom. So if Tampa continues to struggle a bit more and Detroit keeps getting wins, Florida's struggling as well. I mean, hey, who knows, right? But yeah, there are your Eastern standings. So let's go ahead and pick out a surprise. We'll do the bad surprise first. I feel like it's got to be Tampa, right? I mean, bottom of the East, bottom of the league, I think, too, actually. Just 1 win in 6 games. Yes, I know it's still early, but man, that's a rough start for Tampa. 1 win in just 6 games. So that's definitely my biggest surprise in the negative side. The biggest good surprise, probably Detroit. I feel like it has to be Detroit, right? 4 wins in a row. They are first in the Atlantic. I don't think they're going to stay there. It'd be nice if they did. It'd be cool to see, but I don't see that happening. But yeah, there are your Eastern Conference standings. And there are your NHL standings as of October 19th, 2025. And again, this does not include any results from the games today. So yeah, there you go, guys. There are the standings. So let me know what you think of who's in what position so far. Let me know who's been a surprise, good or bad, or both. And yeah, so I'll be back once again next week on the 26th to do another standings review. And I do expect to see a lot more movement because we're still early in the season. Like, just looking at the standings, a quick glance here. You look at from Boston to Tampa, you've got 8 teams there. They're separated by 2 points, right? So, yeah, I do expect to see a lot of movement again next week. So, it's, yeah, definitely some surprises, though, for sure. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.